Vitali Klitschko defending his championship against Danny Williams. He is one of 3 champions along with John Ruiz and Chris Bird, but Klitschko is generally acknowledged as the best of the bunch, and he is generally thought to be the most legitimate claimant to the heavyweight championship. But an impressive victory tonight would go a long way toward solidifying that impression in the minds of the boxing public. To draw an analogy with football, the heavyweight division seems like the NFC right now. You have Vitali Klitschko as the clear standout, the Philadelphia Eagles, if you will. Then you have a mix of the other heavyweights, including Bird, Ruiz, Hasim Rahman, and yes, Danny Williams, all thinking they're just a Klitschko slip-up away from their own chance to be the man in the heavyweight division. Tonight, it's Danny Williams who gets that chance against Klitschko.
Big right hand by Klitschko. Vitali's trying to put his man down.
In June 2003, Klitschko placed himself squarely in the middle of the heavyweight landscape with a performance most didn't expect against then-champion Lennox Lewis.
Vitali Klitschko is roughing Lennox Lewis up.
Ahead on the scorecards, a cut above Klitschko's left eye might have kept Vitali from taking the heavyweight belt that night. Since then, Lewis has retired, and the division finds itself with several belt holders, but no true king. Vitali's recent efforts may give him an advantage over the others in the quest for Lewis's throne.
You want to see a heavyweight destroyer? Vitali Klitschko wants to be your man. Finally, the referee rescues standards, and Vitali Klitschko stakes his claim.
Tonight, Klitschko takes on British heavyweight Danny Williams, a fighter first seen overcoming an injury in what was then the gutsiest performance of his career.
The shoulder's gone, it's come out again, he can't fight.
Williams continued fighting with one arm and wound up defeating Mark Potter in 6 rounds.
It's over! It's over! Unbelievable stuff!
5 months ago, Williams matched that effort against Mike Tyson, withstanding an early assault before knocking out the once Iron Mike in the 4th round.
Tyson Roth is in big trouble and he goes down. He's all knocked out. A sensational win for Danny Williams.
Moments from now, Danny Williams looks for lightning to strike again, while Vitali Klitschko looks to prove he is the class of the division. Klitschko Williams is next. And it's time for our main event, Vitali Klitschko against Danny Williams. Klitschko looking to make another major statement about his place in the heavyweight division, while Danny Williams, conqueror of Mike Tyson, is seeking another major upset. Klitschko versus Williams is being brought to you by Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, elegance and entertainment on the Las Vegas Strip, and by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. Again, tonight, HBO Pay-Per-View is broadcasting in high definition for the first time. Welcome to those of you who are watching on the Pay-Per-View HD channel. In the past month, each of the major heavyweight belt holders has made a title defense. Tonight, it's Vitali Klitschko's turn, and the 6'7" Klitschko hopes to be more emphatic in victory than Chris Bird and John Ruiz managed to be. Danny Williams is best known for knocking out Mike Tyson in July. However, vanquishing the 5'11" Tyson is one thing. Klitschko is 8 inches taller than Tyson, creating an altogether different matchup for the 6'1" Williams. All right, back overlooking the ring with former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis and with the great trainer and manager Emanuel Stewart. First of all, you told me yesterday that Danny Williams' entire demeanor has changed since his victory over Mike Tyson.
Yes, Bob, he's totally different from what he was a year ago. That's why a lot of people who are looking at his previous record and they are making such a big favorite over Vitali, looking at that is a mistake. You have to deal with the man as he is at this point in time. And Danny Williams has a whole different attitude, his confidence. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain that. We had a guy named Buster Douglas who got really motivated when he fought Mike Tyson, fought a great fight because he was all motivated related to the death of his mother. And after that, he went back to being Buster Douglas again. That could be the case with Danny Williams. But he said that his was psychologically, not an event. So if he fights the way that he fought with Mike Tyson, it's going to be a rough night for Vitali.
Got to give Williams a lot of credit because he absorbed considerable punishment from Tyson in the early going before knocking him out. Now, Klitschko was quoted as saying, therefore, Danny Williams destroyed my dream because there was a huge big money fight that Klitschko was looking at against Mike Tyson. He also says, speaking of Klitschko, hey, Lennox Lewis promised me a rematch.
Yeah, I said I promised him a rematch, but, you know, I don't really have anything to prove out there. They really stopped me from knocking him out in the last rounds of our fight, and, you know, basically, you know, he can pick up what I've put down and take it and go on with that. I'm glad I gave other heavyweights an opportunity to actually come back into boxing. They actually see the heavyweight championship right now is wide open. So a lot of people out there feel that they can be heavyweight champions. So, like I said, it's wide open right out there right now, and a lot of boxers feel that they can do it.
Is Klitschko the best of that bunch?
I believe right now Klitschko is the best of that bunch, but yet he still has to prove himself. There's a lot of unanswered questions about Klitschko, and one of the unanswered questions is obviously stamina. How will he hold up against cuts? How will he hold up in a great fight? You know, how good is his chin? Still, there's a lot of people out there that still need to know these questions before they can really say, you know, Klitschko's for them.
And let's flatly answer the other question. You are done, right?
I'm done. Although everybody's keep on saying, you know, they need me back in the sport. They need me back in the sport.
Can you be enticed back?
Not really. I mean, you know, like I said, been there, done that.
All right. You were telling me, Emmanuel, that the Klitschko brothers are the most politically aware and involved boxers you've ever been around.
That's good too, Bob. Even when we were all training together, almost at least once or twice a week, they would always start talking about the politics, the election coming up between Kerry and Bush. They are very, very, very politically interested. And also, Vladimir was telling me one day as we were driving down the streets that how he was raised in his country, in Russia at the time, in Ukraine, thinking that America was so bad. They had drill routines at school about once a week related to the Americans going to blow us up. And when he came here and realized what a great life it is here, he just realized there was so much propaganda. And he's really concerned about trying to change that image back over in Ukraine.
Yeah, it ties into a subplot here because while Vitali Klitschko is concentrating on Danny Williams, his thoughts are also with his countrymen in Ukraine, the former Soviet Republic. He's kept close track of the demonstrations going on in Kiev. He and his brother Vladimir are supporters of Viktor Yushchenko, the reform candidate. A lot of drama there. He has apparently survived a poisoning, which has at least temporarily disfigured him, but he will be able to continue. A runoff has been ordered for December 26th, and it's very possible that he will become that nation's leader and move them more in the direction of democracy.
Well, also I think the interest that Vitali has, it could be a hindrance to his performance or it could aid him, but I personally think after listening to him speak that I think he's going to motivate him a lot more because he, to some degree, it's like a miniature level the way Joe Louis felt when he was fighting Maximilian. He feels that he's fighting for the cause of freedom, for democracy. So I think it's going to be an asset and not a hindrance.
And keep in mind that the Klitschko brothers, and especially now Vitali, are the sports stars in Ukraine. The great pole vaulter, Olympic champion Sergei Bubka was at one time, but he's no longer active. So Klitschko is just huge in Ukraine, and they are following the fight tonight very, very closely. And to help us follow it, back to the three gentlemen who will call it, led by Jim Lampley. Lamps?
Hey, thanks very much, Bob. I voted for Bush, Reggie Bush, for the Heisman. Roy Jones, as we get ready for this heavyweight title fight, Danny Williams is one of the first to acknowledge that he may be getting more credit than he deserves for knocking out Mike Tyson, and credit to Danny for being honest about that. But even so, is it the kind of win that can pump him up emotionally so much that it makes him a whole different force in the fight?
Yes, it is. Anytime you can put a name like Mike Tyson on your record, it does pump you up some. However, I give credit to Danny for admitting that he knows he didn't beat the true Mike Tyson, but he did get a victory over the namesake. With that being said, now he can prove that maybe I am better than they think I am by coming and adding another recognizable name to my record. So hopefully he'll come into this fight for our sake, believing that he can beat Vitali. Can he beat Vitali or not? I'm not really sure.
Well, you heard Emmanuel Stewart talk about the possible distractions that he thinks could afflict Vitali in the fight. Larry, Vitali Klitschko has it in his head that a victory in this fight could enhance the chance for the political reform he's hoping for in Ukraine. He's also trying to make a statement to strengthen and reinforce his claim to the legitimate heavyweight championship of the world. Is all of that a dangerous psychological burden to bring in here?
A fighter who can punch and take a punch, like Williams, is the real danger to Vitali Klitschko. But sometimes a fight is more than a fight to a fighter. And Vitali Klitschko deserves all the credit in the world at this critical juncture in his career when he's trying to separate himself from all the other heavyweights with heavyweight championship claims out there, to invest himself in a cause that's even bigger than his big self. Has it in some way distracted him? Will it in some way inspire him? We don't know, but we do applaud him. And I think it's the type of thing, Jim, that if he comes out of this as the champion still, that will inure to his credit among American boxing fans.
All right, we shall see. And earlier, Bob Costa surprised you of some of the giant numbers which will be accompanying these two big men into the ring. Let's take a look at some of those pertinent numbers right now. Tail of the tape for Vitali Klitschko against Danny Williams. Williams 2 years younger at 31. Klitschko 5.5 inches taller at the listed 6'7". A 3-inch arm length advantage for Vitali, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, and that could be significant in the fight as he tries to keep Williams away at range, and Williams tries to get inside to do damage. And of course, much has been made of the question of Danny Williams' weight, 6'1½", 270 pounds. Is that truly an athlete prepared for the biggest fight of his career? That remains to be seen. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Vitali Klitschko-Danny Williams fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold, here comes the challenger, and Roy, I'll start with you. He weighed 264 against Tyson. Tonight's 270, by far the biggest he has weighed in any of his major fights, is a 6'1½", 270-pound guy, really an athlete.
Yes, he can be an athlete because the way he's built, he has big legs, has a big bottom. So I think he's an athlete. It's just a matter of, is that from training and adding muscle to be able to absorb more from Klitschko, or is that I beat Mike Tyson, I'm good now, I'm gonna lay back and just take it easy. So that we'll find out tonight.
You know, what he says is he stopped fighting himself. There was a time when he would break the furniture in his bedroom before going to a fight, and then break down and weep in the dressing room because he had such high expectations of himself. He says he gave that all up, is more relaxed, and he certainly looked like that in his last fight. He also says that when he's threatened, it brings out the animal instinct in him. That's why he fought so well against Tyson, and he feels threatened against Klitschko.
We talked about the weight of Danny Williams, and let's take a look now at the listed weights for Williams as he entered some of his biggest fights. As we mentioned, 265 against Tyson, 255 in his first fight with Michael Sprott, 263 when he was outpointed by Sprott earlier this year. 270 tonight. So together, Danny Williams and Vitali Klitschko represent the largest combined weight ever for two fighters in a heavyweight title fight. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 listings on that list all involve Lennox Lewis. Basically, Roy Jones, Riddick Bowe, and then Lennox Lewis changed the size qualifications in the heavyweight division.
Yes, they did, because it had been a long time. In fact, I don't think we ever had seen such big guys that were athletic enough to obtain the heavyweight title and hold it for such a period of time as Lennox Lewis did.
So that's part of the reason that you're seeing people like Williams and Klitschko now at the top of the heavyweight ranks, and there's a debate in the sport as to whether you'll ever again see a 210, 212-pound heavyweight champion who rules for a significant period of time, as opposed to, for instance, Roy Jones coming in at around 200, cherry-picking a title from John Ruiz and then going back to the light heavyweight division.
Well, now, if I wanted to stay there and dominate, I'm not telling you that I could have done that. It's just that I wasn't looking to dominate. I was just looking to make my name in the heavyweight division because I wanted to make history.
Here's a man who wants to make history in and out of the ring.
He is wearing orange-colored trunks for what is called in the Ukraine the Orange Revolution. Tomorrow, win or lose, he will be taking off on his journey back to the Ukraine to campaign for his man.
What's your take on all of that, Roy? The distractions or potential distractions that bring Vitali into the ring, will they inspire him or interfere with him?
They had better inspire him because he can't convince nobody to do nothing as a loser. He only can help the cause if he wins. So I know that he knows that, and he'll have to come out and prove his point before he can go back and argue something to anybody else.
Very well said. Not a graceful fighter, a very graceful man. Since the 6-round struggle with Lewis, the knockout of Kirk Johnson, and 8-round war of attrition with Corey Sanders. Notable losses, KO by Lewis 6, and he retired against Chris Bird while leading on the scorecards with a separated shoulder. So Bird, one of the other title claimants, has on the record a W versus Vitali, and that's one of the things from which Vitali is trying to separate himself tonight. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, K2 Promotions is proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Brought to you in association with the Mandalay Bay, HBO Pay-Per-View, and Nemiroff. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman John Bailey, Executive Director Mark Ratner, and the World Boxing Council, President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Edmund Lipinski. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this contest on the 10-point system will be Duane Ford, Jerry Roth, and Daniel Vanderwiel. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Jay Nady. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching in the UK, Ukraine, and the world over, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with red, official weight 270 pounds or 19 stone 4 pounds, professional record 32 victories, including 27 knockouts with only 3 defeats. From London, England, the challenger, the WBC number 7 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Danny Williams. And his opponent, across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 250 pounds, 17 stone 12 pounds, professional record 34 victories, including 33 knockouts with only 2 defeats. He now trains and fights out of Los Angeles, California, and comes to us from Kiev, Ukraine. He's the 2-time world heavyweight champion, the reigning, defending WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Dr. Iron Fist, Vitali Klitschko.
Obey my commands at all times. Defend yourself. Touch left now, it's gonna work.
Physically, Williams probably has as much pure talent as anybody in the division.
One camera up here. Put it around.
That has helped him go from zero to hero, as he puts it. Can he maintain it in the toughest fight of his career?
Round one begins. Danny Williams immediately tries to leap inside and land a left hook. Vitali Klitschko backs up and begins trying to work with his extended left arm to keep the range.
Danny Williams has the right strategy. Come out and go right at him. That's the only chance for him.
Vitali puts a little right hand around Williams' guard and then shoves the jab into his face. Lands two lefts, chops with a right. Williams now looking and waiting. This is the Vitali Klitschko who fought against Lennox Lewis, throwing many punches, letting his hands go. Not necessarily with a lot of power. Lands the jab flush on Danny Williams. Williams seems to be looking for an opening to get inside of Vitali's jab, and in the meantime, Vitali's taking advantage of the opportunity to score.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to get away from, how to get around that big left hand, but he better hurry up and figure it out.
Right hand for Klitschko lands on the top of Williams' head, and now there's a cut above Danny Williams' right eye. And Williams seems wobbled momentarily by the right hand.
He was, Jim. That right hand wobbled him. His back foot came off the canvas, a sure sign that he was hurt. But he has fought hurt before and fought well.
Good body shot by Danny Williams, backs Vitali off. Remember, Williams took a ton of punishment from Tyson in the first round and held up. Good right hand by Klitschko. Again, he lands over the top. Confidence building round for Klitschko if he doesn't make a mistake.
Yeah, but he's already breathing hard, Jim. That's the big baddest thing about him, is that he rares. If Danny can maintain his composure and make it through this, it'll be hard for Klitschko.
But Klitschko lands a big right hand shot. Williams' hands drop. Still a minute to go in the round. Danny Williams doesn't seem to think Vitali Klitschko's a big puncher. Now he backs him off with a left hook. And tries a right hand and takes a right hand in return. Vitali's got a chance for a first round KO here. Down goes Williams.
But he actually pushed him down.
5.
But it'll count as a knockdown.
6,
Oh, yeah.
7, 8, 9.
Williams almost didn't beat the count, but he finally gets up at 9.5.
And there's a cut over
Right eye.
right eye.
I think he's intimidated at this point, though.
He's lost his way, and he just took a huge right hand flush. The left hand lands. Williams might make it out of the round now as Vitali hears the sticks and knows there are less than 10 seconds. Danny Williams is going to survive the first round battering, but at what cost?
Breathe the fresh air in.
You gotta start moving your head.
Move your head, keep your hands high.
Move your head. You want to be heavyweight champion of the world? Then you gotta start moving your head. Don't, come on, champion. Wake up. Let's go. Wake up, Danny. Wake up.
Fine, move your head.
How you feeling,
Stay
Danny?
focused.
Wake up. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Come on. Come on. How you feel? How you feel? Huh? Come on, give me some.
He saw a right hook by Vitali, followed by a jab, and he really was putting the pressure on Danny Williams at this point. Danny's legs were wobbly, and he was kind of afraid of all of this excitement in the atmosphere, and I think the nervous energy is hurting him more than anything.
You know, also what I thought happened, he came across the ring and tried to go at Klitschko, and Klitschko calmly avoided him, and after that he just didn't, he seemed frustrated.
Williams lands a jab to start round two. Vitali Klitschko, by CompuBounce count, averages 47 attempted punches per round in his career. He threw 94 in the first round. How long will his energy level sustain under that kind of punch output?
He couldn't sustain long, but the good thing is that it had wear and tear on Danny. He took a lot out of Danny in that first round, so it may be okay for him.
And Williams does not seem able to stop Klitschko's jab. You heard the people in Williams' corner say, if you want to win, you have to move your head. His head is still.
And he won't punch back either. He's trying, but he's starting behind Klitschko. He'll never catch Klitschko that way. Klitschko is too tall.
Now he backs Klitschko off with a good left hand to the body. Williams seems to be getting his feet under him and is getting a little bit more fluid in his release.
This won't work. Staying outside with Klitschko will not work for him. He has to get close enough to land his bombs.
It'll be target practice if he stands here.
That's what it was the first round.
And it's becoming that again. Williams has to go to work. Now he's setting up to try it. It's not very difficult for Vitali to just push him off.
Nope. But look how wide Vitali's mouth is open already, though.
Wide feet, wide mouth.
If he'd go to the body with a couple of punches, he could cut this fight down to size very quickly.
But he has to attack. He can't stay out there and constantly just take this punishment like this. There you go.
There's
he has
a good
to attack.
left jab by Danny Williams. Best punch of the fight.
He has to continuously attack.
Vitali tried to clean him up with one right hand. Williams now blocking the right.
That's a good body shot by Williams, and that's what he has to do.
Now, a little as was the case in the Tyson fight, Danny Williams is starting to get into the fight after having weathered the early storm.
I guess he doesn't know he's in a fight until he's been clocked about a dozen times.
Till he's almost out of it.
Uppercut lands for Klitschko. The blood starts to flow again above Williams' eye. The 1-2s are landing for Klitschko, and that may be a little intimidating. Williams covering up against feints.
If Williams would roll under that like he did just then and throw a left hook to the head, he hit Klitschko almost every time, like that. But he has to throw more punches. He's not throwing enough.
Well, he's shown he can take a punch, Williams. He hasn't delivered many.
Let me see it. Vitali, stay calm. You need to move more. Go out, start left, and then come in right. Turn left. Stay down, and then hit him in the middle.
Let me see that jab, Danny. You used it in the goddamn gym. I want to see you use it with this guy. He's fading. He's fading
already, Dan.
He's fading.
You understand? Dan, your dream's there for your dad as well.
Come on, baby. You're still in it, Danny. You're still in this damn thing.
These are the top fans.
Don't give him no free shots at you. You understand? Don't give him a free shot at you.
Go to work.
It's a lot of voices in Danny Williams' corner. Sterling McPherson and Jimmy McConnell all talking at once.
I was about to say it was like a horse with 2 or 3 jockeys on his back.
Good left hook starts the round for Danny Williams. He's much more alive than he was in round 1. You heard Vitali Klitschko's trainer Fritz Sedunik telling him he has to move more, incidentally, via the help of our interpreter Jens Halling, who's interpreting Sedunik's German. Williams lands a body shot and backs Klitschko up. Crowd gets excited.
And to tell you the truth, Klitschko don't like that at all. He doesn't like to be backed up. He likes to sit there and intimidate and push the fight himself. He likes to be the dictator. But he's a beautiful boxer from the outside. If you just stay out there, he'll box Danny all night.
Beautiful may be a stretch. He's an effective boxer from the outside.
What I mean by a tall guy that can punch from outside like that is very good to see. Most tall guys want to fight inside.
Certainly Vitali knows what he wants to do. and seems to know his limitations pretty well.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. He better finish Danny off within these next couple of rounds, because if he doesn't, and he lets Danny get in his fight, he can't take this fight like this.
They trade right-hand shots. Klitschko's had a lot of big advantages early to find himself in a fight, coming out of the third, going into the fourth. He's still outscoring Williams.
But Williams came into this fight afraid. Anything that happens for him, the longer this fight goes, the bigger his confidence gets. And if his confidence gets high, it's going to be a problem for Vitali, because he has a hard left hook that if he ever hits Vitali with it, it might be over.
Keep in mind, Roy, Vitali Klitschko has never been on the canvas.
Good body shot by Williams. It was a huge left hook by Danny Williams that started the onslaught that finished Mike Tyson.
Good right hand by Vitali.
And a good uppercut. Sticks the jab, dodges the left. Williams lands a jab under the chin of Vitali Klitschko.
And like Lennox said earlier, Vitali has some heavy hands. You can't just let him keep putting them heavy hands on you. You're bound to wear down eventually.
But he is sure taking a lot of shots, and he keeps coming forward.
You got to throw that big left hook of his, though. He's not throwing it enough. Then he could be waiting Vitali out. I don't know, but he needs to throw that hook more.
There is a belief in the Williams camp that Vitali Klitschko has a stamina problem.
Low blow by Williams. As he drives Klitschko into the corner.
I know, but you can't do that. Okay, bring him up. Come in. Box.
It would seem like a case of mistaken.
Oh, good
hook by Klitschko floors Williams.
That was about a 3-inch left hook.
That was stunning.
6, 7, 8, 9. You all right? Yeah. All right.
That's what I mean when I say beautiful, Jim. Shots like that from outside.
That was good.
Don't quit on me. Don't quit on me, Danny. Break, man. He's quitting. He's quitting. Come on, baby. Don't quit on me. Sit back, Danny. How you feel, champion? Come on. Some more, man. Give me some water. Give me some water.
Danny, you right. Keep your hands on. Hands on. Great defense.
He see Vitali take a step back and throw a hook while Danny was coming in with his own hook. Caught him right on the chin with a little delayed reaction, and down Danny went. Once again, Danny came in to throw a jab action, and Vitali countered the jab with a left hook, a beautiful short left hook by the tall guy. And that's what I like about Vitali staying outside, because he can land those type of punches.
Very accurate round for Klitschko in round 3 by CompuBox numbers. He was 33 out of 59 for 56%. Danny Williams 9 out of 30. You heard the raucous Williams corner where Sterling McPherson was saying, "Don't quit on me."
But I like what Danny said. Danny said, "Who's quitting?" And I like that.
He fires a jab into Klitschko's face and another one, and again, Williams is quicker than Klitschko to begin round 4. Vitali already with a good lead on the scorecards, probably 5 points.
And he didn't even turn his shoulders that much on that left hook. That just goes to show you how heavy his punches are.
Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 5 points, 30 to 25, 3 rounds to nothing. Vitali Klitschko. Jim, I gotta tell you, he's winning on a clean punching, but 2 things I noticed, okay? Number 1, Vitali's fighting with his mouth open. That's a clear sign that he may be breathing hard. Number 2, he does not drop the right hand anymore. It either comes straight or he loops it. He doesn't drop it.
Williams stepped inside and banged Klitschko with the body, but missed him with the right hand. Vitali, far the more accurate puncher, and now as he's starting to get that left hook in the mix, he's beginning to hurt Danny again. Hard right hand. The left hook is setting up right hands now for Vitali Klitschko.
Because Danny's staying outside where he's right in Vitali's range, and he's not close enough that he can hit Vitali back.
He can't maximize his punching power from out there. He needs to get closer to really hurt him. As long as Klitschko can fend Williams off and deal with him from out here, it's a scoring festival for Vitali.
Yeah, but Vitali will have to hurry up and knock Danny Williams out, or else he's going to have problems at the end of this fight.
He looks exhausted already.
Yeah, Danny's just going to get better.
Look at Vitali heaving to try to get one big breath into his body.
Klitschko doesn't get credit enough for how intelligently he fights, because he knows when to throw at the target and when to throw through the target.
Williams caught Klitschko with a long left hook, but the punch was extended, didn't have maximum power.
I like to see Vitali do stuff like that, Jim. From outside, he's throwing a hook, uppercut, and coming back with double hook sometimes. You don't see the big guys do stuff like that too often.
He's touching up Danny's face too, Roy. The right eye is beginning to swell shut.
Oh, low blow again.
That was another one, way low. Keep him up.
Jay Nady's been right on it. Whose confidence is where now, Roy?
Well, Vitali's confidence is very high because he's still landing punches at will. But Danny's confidence is coming. See that? That kind of punch will hurt Vitali if you ever can catch him with it. So his confidence is not gone because this is how he got this shot, by getting lucky at the end of a fight when a fighter was worn down.
Look out, Joe. All right,
These are the rounds we've been talking about. Now you're gonna suck it up and start to move your head. Move your head and go to the body. You don't want to quit on me, do you, champion? You want to win the heavyweight title tonight? Listen, you're still in this thing, Danny.
Danny,
come on.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, mate.
That's right, baby.
Suck it up.
Come on. You run that mouth.
You're moving very good, but you still have to move a little bit more. You noticed what I told you worked. The left hook you got him with was very good. But be careful. Don't keep your hands too low.
4 rounds in, 8 rounds left to go. Battle for the heavyweight title held by Vitali Klitschko.
Start the 3-minute round now.
He has knocked Danny Williams around the ring, knocked him down twice, cut his eye, swelled him up, but Williams is still in the fight, and Klitschko is by no means out of danger.
And Klitschko seems more confident and more calm than usual.
Klitschko seems a little more secure now that he can take Williams' punch than appeared to be the case at the beginning. That could be a mirage, too. Firing the left hook as a counter when Williams steps in has been very effective for Vitali Klitschko. And it works again.
And now he's fighting the fight he should fight always, which is outside, pepper got it death, and just keep doing what he has to do.
Accurate punches by Klitschko, left, right, right. Saw CompuBox numbers showed you Vitali landed more than half the punches he threw in the last round. Same thing seems to be happening here. That kind of left hook could be dangerous, but Williams missed it by 6 inches.
And that's not good for him.
Because it leaves him vulnerable to stuff like that.
Here at ringside, you can hear the thud of Klitschko's punches.
Well, Lennox Lewis talked about heavy hands, and you hear Vitali, thud, thud, thud.
That was a good rare body shot thrown by Vitali.
He's not quick enough. He's not quick enough to get you with the shot you don't see coming very often.
But I think Danny Williams is a little too slow to catch Vitali right now.
Thud on the top of the head by Klitschko. Williams wobbles momentarily.
Good shot by Vitali. Oh, that hurt.
Best right hand since the first round. And you wonder now how long Danny Williams is going to want this.
But what you got to understand, what people have to understand is that Vitali is much bigger than Mike Tyson, so these punches are having much more effect on Danny Williams than the Tyson punches would have.
Williams is hardly fighting back now. I score that a 2-point round.
Halfway done, Vitali Klitschko is thoroughly dominating Danny Williams with a few nervous moments here and there.
You got to move your head, champion. You got to move your head. You understand? You got to move your head. All right? You've got to throw punches down. Come on. Come on, your children are watching you at home. Your children are watching you at home. They're watching. Can you see? Yeah, I can see. He can see, baby. Come on. Hey,
You're doing exactly what I told you. It's very good. Keep moving, stay active, and use your left hand. But you have to lift your hand up.
The Mandalay Bay Event Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the boxing capitals of the world. Heavyweight title fight. Vitali Klitschko in the black trunks. So far beating up Danny Williams, the man who conquered Mike Tyson. I said halfway done. That was 1 round premature. This is the 6th round of a scheduled 12. The fact is we might be more than halfway done. Kind of hard to imagine the fight going 12. In the last 2 rounds, Vitali's shown some good footwork in getting away from Danny Williams' lunges, but that time, Williams caught him with the left hand.
But it was interesting how Klitschko was expecting it. He leaned back, and it didn't have anything on it by the time it landed.
Well, again, as Roy has pointed out, from this distance, Williams isn't very dangerous.
Not at all.
Oh, good right hand at the end of that combination. Williams backs up again. Vitali wanted to throw an uppercut, swept the right hand instead. Williams jumps inside, doesn't really get anything done. Williams is showing courage, not a lot else. Good body shots by Williams. That'd be a good way to start.
Yep, and he's trying to land that big left hook, but Vitali Klitschko is so big that he keeps knocking Williams off balance.
You can't hit and hold. You can't hold. Hit.
John Ruiz could have told Danny Williams, Jay Nady doesn't let you hold and hit. Roy Jones could have told Danny Williams, Jay Nady doesn't let you hold and hit.
Now you're going to have to fight if you're in there with Jay. Good body shot by Klitschko.
He's fought a truly intelligent fight over the course of these first 6 rounds. And an increasingly frustrated Williams is flailing at him now.
I don't know that he's necessarily frustrated, Jim. I think this is what he was looking forward to.
I think he was planning on taking a beating and hoping that by the 10th round, Klitschko would fall down on his own.
Or hurt his shoulder like he did against Chris Bird.
No. Oh, thank you.
Williams almost falls into the ropes as he walks back to his corner following the punishment of round 6.
Look at me. Vitali, you have to stand a little lower. Let him come and do it with your left hand.
Okay, baby. Okay, come on. Danny, start using your jab. Move your eyes. Move the jab. Hey, Danny, move your jab from one side to the other. Upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs and downstairs. Start moving it like you're moving in the gym. Come on, Jim.
So now we're halfway through. 6 rounds of a scheduled 12. Fight looks something like Vitali Klitschko's title-winning effort against Corey Sanders in Los Angeles earlier this year, as Vitali fended Sanders off until he wasn't dangerous and finally got rid of him. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 60 to 52, 6 rounds to nothing. Vitali Klitschko. I gave it an extra point. There was 1 and 3 for the knockdown spot. Let me tell you something, Jim. Danny Williams keeps throwing that right hand. He's looping that right hand, and he's rabbit punching Vitali Klitschko. Nady warned them once in round 5 for rabbit punching, and he just did it again. I'm telling you, he's doing it constantly. Nady's going to take a point away from Williams for rabbit punching, and it's going to be real soon.
If your scorecard is correct, and I have no reason to believe it isn't, Williams is already at that point in the fight where he probably needs a knockout to win.
I think he was there in round 2.
Yeah, actually, round 1. I think that's how he came here.
But the predictions on the part of Williams' corner that Klitschko has a stamina problem may be holding up. He looks tireder here than he did after 6 rounds with Sanders.
Well, but Jim, Williams isn't doing enough to make him work and take advantage of it.
He's allowing him to relax and recuperate.
And as the result, every 20 or 30 seconds, Vitali gets the energy to throw a 4 or 5 punch combination, and usually he lands the punches.
And you see he's not even throwing hard punches anymore because he doesn't want to expend too much energy.
He lands one hard punch, a right hand that wobbles Williams back into the ropes. And when Williams throws in retaliation, Vitali intelligently steps back, waits for Williams to come to him, and lands a left and a right.
Do you think, Roy, that Williams at this point has enough strength, enough balance to really land a right hand and hurt Klitschko?
Not enough balance, but if he lands it, he could hurt Klitschko, yes. His balance is not good, though.
He just went down for the 3rd time in the fight. But he's got his legs under him as he goes back out there.
And Klitschko, like a real professional, he knows what's happening in the fight. He's not going to take the chance of walking into a wild punch if he can avoid it.
And that's very smart on Vitali's part.
Just going to keep letting Danny come to him. You heard Fritz Zedinek telling Klitschko in the corner, let him walk into your left hands. Let him keep walking into your left. Klitschko steps forward, fires a 1-2, and then steps back to get away from Williams' retaliation. Little body punch, right hand, left hand upstairs. For the most part, it's still target practice for Vitali Klitschko.
All right. Rocky Marciano Buchanan.
Keep it back then. Come on. Come on, baby. Put your head up. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Put your hands on the over here. Come on. Come on, baby.
He's dead tired, Danny.
He's dead tired.
Danny.
Danny, how you feeling? Come on. Danny, he's dead tired.
He see Vitali Klitschko keeping Danny at bay and lands a beautiful right uppercut. That uppercut hurt Danny Williams really, really, really bad.
You know,
then he comes back and hits him with a shot behind the head, and that really probably should not have been called a knockdown because it was more of a push down from the back of the head.
Right.
He did hit him with a jab, but he pushed him down from the back with the overhand, so that probably could have not been ruled a knockdown, but he's so exhausted and his balance is so bad that anything like that will put him down now.
Well, plus, but Klitschko got credit for the knockdown because of what he'd done before. Yes, Larry.
You know, I concede the possibility that anything can happen in a fight. That Klitschko could suddenly hit the wall, that Williams could hit him with a punch and end it. But he is taking such a terrible beating, Williams. I mean, this is a fight, taking these kinds of big punches from a big man for so long, that I think the case should be made to stop this fight, that this man is just taking a terrible, terrible whipping.
Yeah, if he continues to take this with him for another couple of rounds, I think so too. But that's why they haven't stopped him.
Almost landed a left hook right there.
Exactly.
That left hook was partially blocked. Klitschko is scared of his left hook. Williams lands it to the body. Klitschko hurts him with the right hand. Williams with the roundhouse misses, and Klitschko takes advantage to land. Misses again with the left, does Williams.
Boy, I'll tell you, Williams is a real horse. To take this kind of punishment, still come forward.
His right eye's almost completely closed.
And keep trying to score a knockout at that. That's it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You okay?
No way. Stop the fight.
Nady's seen enough. At virtually the same moment at which Vitali Klitschko was declared the winner over Corey Sanders in the 8th round, he gets rid of Danny Williams too.
And once again, unlike the other claimants to the heavyweight championship, he ends it in style.
You didn't see anything on November 13 in New York like that, other than Hasim Rahman's knockout of a lesser fighter, Kalinian. So Vitali Klitschko once again offers his claim. And the skeptics can say what they want. He did what he had to do, Roy.
Yeah, he did do what he had to do. He looked very impressive doing it. He fought a very smart, intelligent type fight for Klitschko. But you can't say that Kelly Meehan was a lesser opponent than Danny Williams.
Really?
No, because both guys...
I was saying a lesser opponent than Hasim Rahman, basically, you know. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you can't say that he's a lesser opponent than what Rahman had in front of him. Because both guys tried. This guy tried his hardest.
Oh, listen, I think Rahman could conceivably be the heavyweight champ. But let's go back to what Klitschko's doing to Danny Williams here.
Just counter-punching him all night long. That's a beautiful counter right uppercut earlier, a double right uppercut there, something you don't see from a big man. That's why I'm so impressed by him. Then he followed it with the 1-2 and dropped him, and that was good night.
This is what you mean by beautiful boxing.
Yeah, the double uppercut. Look at that from a big man. Then a bing, bing, 1-2 down the middle that ends things. You don't see big guys put punches together like that.
And he did it.
He's impressed me tonight, I must admit it.
Vitali Klitschko scores his 34th knockout in 35 wins. In a ring completely smothered with blood.
And Danny Williams came with the right fight plan, just that he was a little too slow, wasn't quite mobile enough to take advantage of what he thought would be a good situation.
He was technically outgunned by a better fighter.
Outclassed, totally outclassed.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer to tell us about the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we give the official time, a round of applause for the courage and heart displayed by this challenger from London, England, Danny Williams. Referee Jay Nady calls a halt to this contest here at the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas. The official time, 1 minute, 26 seconds of round number 8. The winner, and still the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Dr. Iron Fist, Vitali Klitschko.
Orange and white confetti signifying Vitali and his brother Vladimir Klitschko's commitment to reform politics and the candidacy of Viktor Yushchenko in the Ukraine, or in Ukraine, I should say. Vitali will be flying from here to Kiev in the next couple of days to make his presence felt in that political situation. Final CompuBox numbers in what will be seen as a CompuBox wipeout. Vitali Klitschko's numbers are going to dwarf those of Danny Williams. Klitschko landing nearly half of 519 punches. Williams not able to throw 200 punches in the fight, and the 44 he landed were rarely truly threatening. Larry Merchant stands by with the winner, heavyweight titleist Vitali Klitschko.
Vitali, congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it make you feel to see these orange confetti coming down to celebrate not only your victory, but your feeling for the political reform cause back at home?
I'm very happy now to defend first time my most prestigious title of the world, and I'm very proud for that. I want to say thank you very much and wish my win for everybody in Ukraine who fight for democracy, who fight for the future, for our future, for future our children. And I'm really happy, and I send hello for everybody who support me, who cross the finish this fight.
Tell us about this fight, Danny Williams. Did you feel from the outset of the fight that you could just outbox him and punch him at will?
Danny Williams is a very hard puncher, and he couple of times punched me very hard, and I was surprised from his iron chin. I have pain in my hand, but it's amazing. So many punches and big heart and big respect from you.
Well, they call you Dr. Iron Fist, so he surely must be Dr. Iron Chin after all of the punches. Once you knew you had him defeated, early in the fight it seemed you had him defeated, did you just want to box him the rest of the way and not give him any chance to change the fight?
I know I use my reach, yes, of course, and try to punching from long distance. I know Danny try to go close to me to make in fight, and actually I using our strategy, what we develop in preparation with our camp.
Was there a point where you felt this man is taking too many punches?
Yeah, it was a lot of harder punches, and I was surprised. Iron chin, big heart. Danny Williams never give up, go front to me, and it's iron. I am surprised how strong his chin is.
I have a question to ask. Very early in your fights, your mouth seems to come open, you seem to be breathing hard, and yet you go on. Are you tired, or is that just a habit you have always had?
I was cold, and starting from first round. Yes, of course, and you know, body need couple of rounds more to be warm up, and after that I'm relaxing, just boxing. As Fritz, my coach, give me advice, just boxing and knockout coming by himself.
So you never felt that you were getting tired in this fight?
I was tired a little bit, but I was ready. I was prepared for all 12 rounds.
Who would you like to fight in order to settle for once and all, in everybody's opinion, who the heavyweight champion of the world is?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
Who would you like to fight in order to settle any disputes that there might be on who really is the heavyweight champion?
I am the real heavyweight champion. I'm very proud to take the ring belt, the bubble of boxing, and it's all boxing experts recognize me like the heavyweight champion. I am very proud for that, and actually audience makes the champions.
Thank you very much for another terrific performance, Vitali.
Thank you very much.
Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Larry Merchant. All right, Roy Jones, the overarching theme of the evening was, would Vitali Klitschko take a step toward solidifying his claim to the heavyweight championship of the world, the legitimate title? Did he do so?
Yeah, he did so. I think he did. I still like to see him get a piece of the rock, but he did, show good signs tonight that he could be the legitimate heavyweight champion.
My take is he'd be vulnerable against anybody. He'd be heavily favored over everybody else. Let's go to Larry, who's standing by now with Danny Williams.
All right, thank you, guys. Danny, you put on a brave show. You sure took a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
Was he just too smart defensively and too tall for you to get at him?
Yeah, it was a lot more awkward than I anticipated. Very, very awkward fight. Very awkward fight.
but smart. He stayed away. He didn't give you a real chance to throw anything big, did he?
Yes, he was very clever. He in and out on angles. He was very clever. He didn't hit as hard as Mike Tyson, but he was more consistent with his punches.
What kept you going?
The world heavyweight title. I watched, like I said, I watched a lot of Rocky Marciano, and I wanted to grip through it, but he was just too good.
Thank you so much for a brave effort, Danny Williams.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Larry. Roy, what happens to Danny Williams from here?
Well, I think Danny Williams has a few more good fights left in him because he showed a tremendous heart to be able to take that much punishment and continuously keep coming and try to win the fight. That takes a big heart in itself. So to count Danny Williams out is not the thing to do. He'll make great fights for other people. In fact, people like Evander Holyfield would have been good fights for him because he's right in front of Evander, and it would have been some kind of war.
Interesting because his first big compliment to Vitali in the interview was he's awkward. And this is certainly a case where awkwardness is an asset, right?
Yes, it is for Vitali because he's so big, he's so powerful, and like I said, what happens is his one-punch knockout power is not as good as Mike Tyson's, but he has 250 pounds behind every punch. That wears on you after a little while.
Particularly when he makes a point of being accurate with his punches. He's landing them very carefully. Well, Larry, we mentioned that the overarching theme of the evening was Klitschko's attempt to solidify his hold on what he claims to have, the legitimate championship of the world. How'd he do?
Well, we've watched the other heavyweights. They haven't made any big statements for themselves, and he keeps closing the show, which is what boxing fans want. I think he's going to have to beat some of those Americans before the recognition is universal. But for us in boxing, he's the champ.
The definitive statement on the heavyweight championship was made more than 100 years ago by John L. Sullivan. It goes, I can lick any sumbitch alive. Vitali Klitschko is not a pretty fighter, but right now, maybe he can lick any sumbitch alive. Roy and Bob.
All right, thank you, Jim, Roy, and Larry with Lennox and Emmanuel. Let's see if we can make it unanimous. Everybody downstairs was very, very impressed. Were you, Lennox?
I was impressed. I was impressed by what he had to do. He basically used his jab, used his reach, something that I thought he was going to do in the first place. Danny showed great heart, but he definitely didn't have the ability to beat him. Didn't have the ability, the long arms to get in. He didn't have the weight advantage to be able to move around, because 270 to move around the ring is very, very hard. So he was facing the fight with a lot of different difficulties, and it was difficult for him. But Vitali did what he had to do, and you can't ask any more than that. What can you ask for that?
Jim Lampley quoted John L. Sullivan saying that Vitali Klitschko, Sullivan actually didn't refer to Klitschko, Sullivan never saw Klitschko, but he paraphrased Sullivan and said, Klitschko may very well be the guy now who can beat any sumbitch alive, all right? Maybe he can beat any sumbitch active. Can he beat any sumbitch alive, and does it make you want to come back and prove that that's not the case?
Well, he can't beat me. If he would have beat me, if he could beat me, he would have beat me. He definitely is hard to box. He does do unusual things with his body and twist up his body, so it makes it difficult to hit him. And, obviously he can't beat me, but he can definitely beat Danny Williams.
Your summation, Emmanuel?
I thought that Vitali fought a very good fight. He kept the fight at a distance where he was effective. And I didn't really see Danny land nothing effective. Even the punches that he threw, which was so seldom, we get excited, they was barely missing. Danny was always short of his punches and always at a distance where he was trying to wonder where he was getting hit at. So I thought Vitali fought a very smart fight. He kept the fight to where he could fight and Danny couldn't fight effectively.
And certainly fair to say that of all the other belt holders and hopefuls whom we've seen fight over the last several weeks, the best performance clearly was Vitali Klitschko's.
I think that's a good way to state it. Not necessarily that Danny was a top-of-the-line super fighter, but still the best dominant performance of all of the champions I've saw in the last month or so was by Vitali Klitschko.
Agreed, Lennox?
Yeah, I agreed. He did well, but Danny didn't really give him too much of a fight to really prove that. Basically, if you look at the stats, basically this fight shouldn't even be made. Because of but Danny showed great heart and great determination. It wasn't an easy task for him, but you know, he went out on his heart. He showed great heart.
Lennox and Emmanuel, as always, thanks very much. Good to be with you. Well, we still do not have an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, but maybe the dispute quiets down just a little bit, and maybe the consensus in favor of Vitali Klitschko, not maybe, certainly, is stronger now than it was at the beginning of the evening.